It is great to have you on the Family Goals podcast with David Pollack and Pastor Jay. I'm Joel and House, and on this podcast, we want to encourage you to grow closer to God, to strengthen your marriage, and to inspire your family to reach its highest potential.
Being a pastor is one of the biggest blessings of my life. It can also be really challenging. Often it feels like everyone wants something from you. That's one of the reasons that it's so refreshing when you find a trusted ministry partner, a Christ-centered, church-driven organization that's truly there to help you carry your church's mission forward. For me, Compassion International has been one of those trusted ministry partners. Hear me say this. Compassion International is much more than asking people in your church to sponsor a child. Compassion offers proven, no-cost resources to help pastors make mission and discipleship a personal priority for individuals and families in their churches. My local Compassion team is in my corner. They genuinely care about me and my church. Learn more about partnering with Compassion at compassion.com/familygoals.
Life is a highway. We make so many decisions every day, and these decisions affect our life and the direction we're going. Let's talk about it.
So a lot's happened recently. Of course, we went to Honduras, the House family, the Pollock family. Let's talk about the Pollock Family Foundation golf tournament. That was super fun.
You got to play in it finally. What'd you think?
I got to play in it. It was
awesome.
Got to
experience it.
It was awesome.
You've served before. You've helped us serve.
Yeah, last year we volunteered, but this year we decided for Graystone to put a team in, and every team has a celebrity, which I requested Francoeur. And I told Francoeur, I was like, I requested you, but apparently somebody, maybe a big money person, maybe requested Francoeur ahead of Pastor Jay.
One of his friends.
Oh, one of his buddies.
It was one of his buddies that asked for him, and Jeff said, I would like to play with my buddy.
I got you. So, yeah. He didn't want to play with Pastor Jay?
No, probably not.
But of all the celebrities, the guy that you had matched up with our group, Brian McCann, was a no-show. And then we were worried about him. Like, was everything okay with him?
He's good.
Like,
he's good.
Okay. Because I know everybody was like, couldn't get a hold of him. Thought
it's
maybe something happened.
Yeah, it's all good. But we got
Joe Ham, man.
Joe Hamilton.
Joe Hamilton was so much fun. He's
a dude.
He is a great guy.
When I texted Joe Hamilton about coming to the golf tournament and playing it, first of all, I love the way he showed up too. Georgia Tech visor.
He was fully
Georgia Tech pullover.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of Georgia there, but he wanted to make it known where he stood, which I thought was fantastic. But First thing he texted back, and this is Family Goals, by the way. This is pretty cool. First thing he texted back, man, I love your stuff on social, and I love your faith. Like, I love that you share your faith. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool. Like, and he's at 680. He set up in the morning and did 680. But yeah, you got a good one.
We basically talked about Jesus the whole time.
That's cool.
And we about hole number 3 or 4. You know, it's pretty slow. We had a sevensome in front of us.
Sevensome?
Yeah, like 7 dudes playing golf, and it looked like they were huddling up for a football game. There was I guess there was some Georgia players.
I don't know.
Some big boys, but they were taking forever. So every shot we were just hanging out. It only took us like 6.5 hours to finish the round. But Joe Ham and I got to talking about his faith and his family, and it's a super cool day. Wow. And I was telling him about the discipleship books, and he was pretty impacted. He ended up calling me that night.
Yeah, you said you talked for like 20, 30 minutes, right?
Talked 20, 30 minutes, and he was just kind of he was super hungry, wanted to learn more, wanted to grow.
That's cool.
Wanted to be discipled.
So how about Calvin Johnson? He texted me, thanks for the invite, and I told him thank you for coming. He was like, hey, we've got ours, and he sent me a thing in May. He's having a golf tournament, celebrity golf tournament, and it said Michigan. And I was like,
oh, Detroit?
Yeah, I was like, I said, wait a minute. I said, do you live in Michigan? He said, yeah. I said, you flew down for the golf tournament? He said, yeah. He flew down. He brought his 10-year-old son. Like,
that is incredible.
I was like, don't ever come again. I said, I thought you lived in Georgia. Like, I would not have asked you to fly down. Like, I had no clue. I mean, so kudos to Calvin Johnson, man. I mean,
I hated I didn't get to meet him because,
dude, you talk about a dude.
Everyone was saying he's still in great shape.
Well, it's just like all these parents that think their kids are going to the next level and stuff. When you see superhuman mutants like that, you're like, okay, wait a minute. Like, it's just.
Megatron has won a few fantasy football championships for the Mississippi Mullets.
That dude was but he's 6'4", 6'5". I hosted him on a visit to Georgia. So obviously I didn't do my
I'm
job.
surprised I didn't run into him or see him during the day because
Dude.
he would have stood out.
He's a dude.
Taj Boyd,
Taj Boyd's awesome.
he thanked me for my investment in the kingdom, and
Yeah.
he was super encouraging.
Taj Boyd's a stud. He's coaching quarterbacks at Clemson now.
Okay.
So he's right
He
down
doesn't
the road.
look like a quarterback. He looks like a
No.
He
but
looks like a linebacker.
He was a baller though.
Yeah.
He was a baller QB at Clemson. He started the run of success for them up to, Cole Stout obviously played QB. He was there. And then Caleb Downs, and then tons of Georgia guys, obviously the tight end all the tight ends being there with Delp and Lucky and all those guys. And it was a great day. It's cool because when you've done something for 8 years, you kind of figure out how to do it. Like, I'm not saying that we've got it mastered. I'm just saying you've screwed it up enough. And so Lindsay's a machine. She's got it ironed out, and we've got an army of people that help now, and it's easy to assign everything. And, where chairs are going. Lindsay's got a map that says 2 chairs, 2 tables on this hole, and a map to the holes. And the celebrity part I've figured out kind of, but it's just started to build. And I text the guys that all come every year, like Frank Core and McCann and those guys, and I'm just like, hey, did you like it enough last year to come back? Like, if you don't, I don't want you to come. Like, I mean, I don't want to invite you unless you really liked it and enjoyed it and made it a good time, because we feed the crap out of you. Like, you're going to eat.
That is for sure.
I mean, that again, I don't want to take the whole time. I want this to be something like every year you're like, I'm going to that tournament. That tournament was fantastic. And so you're getting barbecue. You're getting Smoothie
Get
King.
Get
you some James Argo Oconee Gold, baby. You're gonna get Smoothie King. Like, we driving around with coffee on the Segways, where you're gonna get iced coffee if you want regular coffee. Chick-fil-A's handing out sandwiches. You got breakfast burritos from La Cabana, and Chick-fil-A did breakfast, and then afterwards we feed you after we finish the tournament. So there's a lot of it's the funnest golf tournament you'll ever be at. Like, it is definitely, that's the goal. The goal is to make it so much fun that you want to come and support. And so appreciate y'all doing that.
Yeah, we're honored to be there. Yeah, it's come a long way over the years. I played in it probably your first year when it was at Chateau Alon.
That was the first year.
I think, was it?
That was the first year.
So I played in it that year. Just somebody invited me last minute.
It was a struggle.
Then last year we volunteered. Of course, you had so many volunteers. Jennifer and I were like, we're not even needed here. There's so many people. So this year we decided Graystone put a team in, support the.
Well, the hard part with volunteers is we have so many people that volunteer, but you realize, like, we set up and then they go. Well, then you got 5 hours of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard because people feel like they're doing nothing, but you had to set up and then you got to take down. So it's a tough. I always feel bad, but I'm like, listen, when you're volunteering, like, this is what you're kind of getting into. It's going to be a lot of downtime. And so you feel like you're not doing anything, but obviously it's important. It's important for everybody. So, yeah, it's definitely.
You had the guys on the ATVs.
Yeah,
riding around.
Like,
those were super cool.
And we figured that stuff out. But Lindsay does it. So the reason Lindsay runs it and does it and spends a lot of her time on it, and we don't talk to her for a while before, and then we know when we come home the day of, like, she's going right to sleep. We took bets this year, and she was like, no, I think it wasn't as stressful this year. I'm not going to nap when I get back. And she's mouth open on the couch, 20 minutes after being home. But she does all the work so we can give all the money away. Like,
you don't have to pay somebody.
We don't pay somebody to run it. We don't
Yeah.
have fees at our foundation. Like, we're not paying out a bunch of, like, fees to a bunch of different things. We're paying out to things that we can go make a difference. And so when you give, we want you to know that, and that's what's cool about Lindsay putting in all that time and all that effort.
You had tons of guys there. So how much money did you raise, and where's the money going?
I don't know how much the tally is yet. Lindsay's still.
People keep asking me
Lindsay,
about that.
well, I keep asking her, but she said not yet. So I'm not going to keep pushing the envelope. Yeah. But it's like, but I know I bet you will raise close to 200, more than 200, which will be a phenomenal day. And then I get that's a big time guess, by the way. That's a huge guess. So taking liberties, but we got a bunch of things sponsored. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Strong for Life. Like, we work with Children's Healthcare now for 8 years. All the years we give to them every single year and write them a big old check. One of those big fake checks. Those are really cool to hand out. Those fake checks, like fun. Happy Gilmore. And just put it in the back of the car. And so we give them money every single year, and then we love supporting them because obviously everybody can get behind that. Like, everybody wants a place to take their children to go have a children's hospital to make it easier on them, and especially when they're fighting some of the things they have to fight, which are serious stuff. So it was fun. It was cool. But that's enough about that.
What about, I thought it was cool that someone found the UGA catfish ball.
Yes. That was
number 77.
That was 71.
Oh, 71.
Get the number right, bro. So Kevin Catfish Jackson passed away several months ago, and he was the main title sponsor. And cool story, I called him, and I said, hey, Catfish, I'm looking for a title sponsor for the golf tournament. He said, I'm in. I said, I haven't told you what it is yet. And he was like, D-line sticks together. And that's because he was a D lineman on the 80 national championship team. He was number 71. And so every year he's been our title sponsor the last several years. And I'm playing I'm going out there and I'm hitting putts with people. And sometimes I'll hit shots with them. Sometimes I'll drive by. But we took pictures with everybody. Just depends where they were at on the course. And somebody was putting, and I looked down. And I was like, what is that? It was Titleist 71. He's like, I found it in the woods. And on the side of it, it said UGA Catfish. So a tournament that the dude sponsored every year. And he showed up. And I just thought that was a cool God thing, man. And we told everybody at the end, when we were doing the meal at the end, I told him that same story and showed him the golf ball. And it was a cool God wink, cool moment that like he's letting you know, like I'm still here, still supporting. And
he had lost a few balls over the years.
Yeah, but think about it. He only plays one time a year at the Georgia Club for our tournament. He's from Savannah.
Yeah. One
time a year. So finding his ball is not an easy thing. And I just thought that was so
that's awesome.
Cool. And he's such a good dude, and we appreciate him all of the years. And just he's missed and loved because he's such a stud. And that was a cool way to see him still there.
So tell me about the you got a black eye, it looks like. Did you catch an elbow or something in a basketball game?
No. I actually so we started spring ball, and one of my defensive line, I wrestle with the kids all the time. Like we'll start, like you'll look up one and we'll be wrestling full out on the field. Like we'll just start throwing. And AJ Fick, me and him got hands on each other, and we were pushing back and forth. And the dude just goes like this and headbutts me with his helmet. And I'm like, AJ, I don't have a helmet on. Like, you can't headbutt me, bro. And literally just went doink and headbutted me with his face mask. And I headbutt them all the time, but they have the Guardian caps on their helmets, so it's a little bit softer. But the dude used his face mask. I'm like, you can't use your face mask, AJ. So it was outstanding.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's my boy.
Did that draw blood?
Oh, yeah, it drew blood.
Your eye was bleeding?
Oh, yeah. But my boy AJ's a caveman. Like, he is the definition of, like, a meathead.
What does that mean, caveman?
He's a meathead, caveman, like, just great football player, stud of a football player. If we had 22 of them, we'd win state championships. I mean, he's just an animal. But I was like, bro, let's just please not headbutt me next time. And so hopefully we learned. But, AJ, it's probably going to happen again.
Yeah. What year is he?
He's a rising junior.
Okay. So he's still got a couple more years.
Oh, yeah. We got a couple more years of black guys coming.
Yeah. So is Nicholas going to be – is he playing football next year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're fully in it, baby. Fully in it. I want to transition, though, and get out of that surface level stuff. We got to get to your sermons because I've never heard it better. And I'm being honest. Like, I got to give – listen, I am number one in the hater fan club of Pastor Jay. Wouldn't you agree?
You like to give me a hard time.
I love
especially
to give
about
Pastor
my
Jay
diet,
a hard time.
Especially about my diet and exercise.
And your workout routine that you consider a sauna workout. And we saw that in Honduras when your wife had to carry the basket to the food.
Compare me to most pastors. I feel like I'm –
Well, I'm not doing the comparison game. That's not the way this works. But man,
I'm not a professional athlete.
You've been on fire. I mean, the best sermon I've ever heard you preach recently. Like, that was the Jesus and Pop Culture Part 4, Life is a Highway.
Life is a Highway.
That was incredible. Like, that was I got to give you your flowers. I'm not going to do it often, but that's so we actually let's just edit that. Let's cut that out. Let's take that part out like I didn't give him credit.
Yeah.
But man,
you have a man crush on me? What's going on here?
It was impressive. It was really impressive.
Well, let's dive in and talk about it. I think it would be good for the those people beyond Graystone Church to get to hear the message. So kind of life is a highway. We're talking about decisions you make along the way, and hopefully you're not going through life alone. You have a group of people that you're doing life with. Of course, we talk about that a lot on the podcast.
Yep.
But you come to a crossroads. You come to a fork in the road, and which way are you going to go? Of course, the first part was getting on the highway of holiness, the highway to heaven, putting our faith in Jesus. But then we talked about just decisions in general that we make.
How many decisions do you make a day?
35,000.
35,000
decisions.
Dang, I was
a
way
day.
under that. Okay.
And I was talking about some of the life hacks of if you go ahead and decide ahead of time, it'll keep you from decision fatigue. And you're good about, like, you decide ahead of time what you're going to eat, what you're not going to eat. I mean, you have strong convictions, but that was one of the examples I used. I didn't mention your name, but
that was one of the coolest things I've ever heard. Like, I've never heard that. And I know we make decisions throughout a day, but the way you said it was, 35,000 decisions in a day. And I shared this with our church boys, actually last night. And I was just like, how many decisions can you make before you have to make that decision? So you don't have to make that decision. I know that's very complicated, but like, let's limit our decision capacity and narrow it down, like you were saying in the service. Like, me and Lindsay made a decision when we started dating. Like, we were not gonna have sex until we were married. So, and I told the kids, I'm like, whatever situation you get yourself in, that decision's already been made, so it's off the table. And
you don't have to make that decision every date or every time you're with somebody.
No, it's already been made.
Yeah.
Like, I was not going to touch alcohol. Still am not going to touch alcohol to this day. That decision's been made. So when those circumstances come up and you feel peer pressure and people are saying things to you, like, if I've already made it, it's not complicated and it's not near as hard. So how many decisions can you make? Like, before, how many can you already say, this is where I stand, this is what I'm going to be? And so now it makes it easier to handle peer pressure in moments where you might be a little bit fatigued or a circumstance comes up that's a little bit difficult to handle. But now I've already made that decision. And I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was great.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't have time in the message to get into it, but when you make decisions, you want to make decisions not in the heat of the moment, not as you're
tempted or emotional or sprung on you.
Yeah, so you want to make decisions when you're in church. You want to make decisions when you're studying the Word of God. You want to make decisions when you're in the right frame of mind, not at the party or with the girl or whatever the case may be.
Yep. So how many of those decisions with all y'all in your life, like, you're all going to brush your teeth? Before you go to bed, everybody's going to do that.
Do you brush your teeth?
I brush my teeth. Yes, I do brush my teeth. I do. I was telling the kids, I'm like, I was using this example. I was telling the kids, y'all all going to brush your teeth. I said, after a football practice or a basketball practice, you're all going to shower. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Don't look at me. I don't shower. That's not the point.
Wait. When's the last time you've had a shower? How long's it been?
Well, I was in the hot tub this morning.
When's the last time you took a shower, though?
I was in the hot tub this morning. I feel like that counts. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like
I don't
counts.
think so. Like there's chlorine in there. Hopefully,
salt. We don't do
Yeah.
chlorine, but salt. Yeah, and now this time of year you use sunscreen more, so I rub my arms when I'm in there. Like, I rub it off. Does that count?
I don't know. Do you use soap?
No.
Shampoo?
No.
Deodorant?
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's just change. The subject.
Change the subject.
Like those decisions. That's exactly what I was saying to them.
I was talking about developing biblical convictions so that the decisions you make, you decide ahead of time based on what the Bible says, not based on peer pressure or influence or what other.
And I don't even think it has to be. If you don't want to look at it in that space, you don't even have to. But, like, what do you stand for? What are you about? What is important to you? Like, those things that are important for you, you have to be willing to go ahead and make a decision. I mean, for example, and we'll go back to the diet. I was in 8th grade. I remember when I was watching the World Cup, and I remember watching them, and I remember listening to the broadcast as a 15-year-old going into 9th grade as a 15-year-old kid, and they stopped drinking carbonation. The athletes stopped drinking carbonation because it hurt their conditioning. I'm a 15-year-old kid. That's the last time I've ever touched a carbonated beverage in my life. Like, because I understood, like, that's not helping me with my goals. So what things are hindrances or what things that I don't need to do or things that I don't want to do? And I think Saban says it. I like the way he says it. Like, don't give up what you want for what you want right now. And if you're making decisions ahead of time, you're right. You're 100% right. I think it makes it easy. It makes it, you've already thought about it. You've already addressed it. You already know what you stand for. That's not in my vein. Go away. That's
Yeah, and so we're talking about decision fatigue and how we get so worn out by having to make so many decisions. it's hard to make the right decisions. We just kind of go with, well, whatever. You choose, you decide. But I was talking about President Obama wore the same clothes every day, so he didn't have to decide. That's one decision.
One less decision.
Off the table. You eat the same meal. You eat
Every
the
day.
same breakfast and the same lunch every day. So you don't have to decide.
Yep.
For our family, we go to church on Sundays.
Yep.
So we're not going to wake up on Sunday morning to decide, are we going to go to church today or not? I have discipleship on Tuesday nights. I'm in small. Like, I don't have
Your
to.
quiet time. How long?
My
You're
quiet
33 years in a row now, right?
Yeah, 30, probably more like 35 years in a row. Like
That's
every
not
morning.
negotiable. That's
It's non-negotiable.
I'm getting up and I'm
I
getting a quiet
grab
time.
a cup of coffee and get in the Word every day. That's what I do. You know, that's don't even have to think about it. I don't drink alcohol either. You know, we were at this wedding this weekend with our family, and all they offer was alcohol. Like I couldn't even get a Coke Zero, which may make you happy.
Yes.
But I did drink water. They did have some bottled waters there, but you know everybody else is drinking. But the decision it wasn't even I'm not even thinking about it because I haven't drank alcohol in 20-something years. So you know, it wasn't even. It's not even a thought. It's not even a decision that I have to make. So I think making those decisions, having strong biblical convictions, and for me, and I know everybody listening is not a Christian. Everybody listening is not. But if you are a Christian, you are a follower of Jesus. If you can attach a Bible verse to your conviction, then it really, you know, solidifies it. You know, so it's not like a Post-it note that you're sticking up there. You know, you got to you're nailing it in. Like you're nailing it home. Like this is a strong
conviction, strong belief.
Yeah.
Well, then I think it was cool. You talked about like the decision making process, and I think you spun it to that, which was cool because, and listen, my brain works small. Okay, remember I played defense, see ball, get ball. You don't have. That's where they put the dumb players. Okay, it's very very simple.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's your assignment? Go get the guy with the ball. Offense, you got like shifts, formations, plays. Like you got to know where the ball is going. Defense is like, you see that guy? Go get him. Like that's it. Like so, that's where they put the.
You don't
dumb
have
ones.
to catch on defense either.
No, but like, so to me, you know, I love the. I took what you did, and I said 3D. So I went 3D would be decision equals direction, which equals destination.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're thinking about like, listen, you know, if you're a Christian, you're a believer, obviously your salvation is secure, but your decisions do affect tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think people don't realize that your decisions you make are going to affect your future.
Biblical you reap what you sow. It's
100%.
It's a biblical principle.
Good decisions, bad decisions. You whether you like it or not, you're going to feel the ramifications of what you choose to do. So I thought it was kind of cool if you think about that. Like I got to think about my decisions, and my decisions are going to affect my direction, and then my directions are going to directly affect where I go.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you talked about. You know, you're talking about already making decisions beforehand. Well, you know, let's think about. You have to think about big picture, long term. What's my destination? Like, where am I going?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that are really going to be important to me? And if it's like all these little, it's every day, man. Like it's not. You don't just wake up and go become something. Like it's every day grabbing a little bit of ground, right? Like grabbing a little bit of ground towards where I want to go. That's what your quiet time does. You grab a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking ground in the direction you want to go. Like your quiet time, you're taking ground. I mean, those are things that are important for all of us in whatever sphere we're in. Whether you're in business, whether you're with your job, whether you're coaching, you're playing sports, whatever it is, like wherever you're at, like what's that ground I can take every day so I got to make that decision that forms that direction that's going to give me my destination.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of vision, like what is the vision for your life? Kind of where are you going? Kind of beginning with the end in mind. Okay, well this is where I want to go. Where am I right now? And then how am I going to get there? And so I think the small decisions every day determine the direction. I think the verse I used was in Philippians, where you're the upward call of God, that you're on this journey now as a Christian from the cross of Calvary to the gates of heaven, and every decision we make is heading towards that. So getting in the Word and prayer and and all that. But whatever your destination is, you want to make sure that you're heading in that direction.
Thank you for listening to this week's Family Goals podcast with David Pollack and Pastor Jay. We make around 35,000 decisions every single day. From when you get out of bed to brushing your teeth, making coffee, going to work, whether or not you speak up or keep your mouth shut, whether you love your life well or drink alcohol, so many of these decisions can be made ahead of time. What is important to you? What convictions have you made? Davey has a personal conviction against soda. It's not even an option for him. The decision is already made. Pastor Jay doesn't drink alcohol. It's a decision that is already made. Let's make those tough decisions ahead of time. So in the moment, we don't even have to think about it when we're fatigued or when our guard is down. Figure it out for yourself what those convictions are and stick to them. It makes life so much easier. If you found this episode helpful, encouraging, or entertaining, please let us know by subscribing to the podcast or by writing a review. You can also reach us on Instagram and Twitter @FamilyGoalsPod. Thank you again for listening to the Family Goals podcast, and we'll catch you next week.